Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. My name is Harmon. Today's video is all about the Keddie cabin murders. Again, a family of three and their friend, all murdered 1981. What you're seeing in front of you is this is the cemetery in Quincy, California, where they're buried. And now I don't know if you guys can tell, but it is not fog or smog that you're seeing right now. It's actually part of a wildfire. This is all smoke. So in a sense it makes it look like a cool setting for the cemetery, but it's actually smoke. But anyway, so we're gonna try to find the graves of the Sharp family, the mom and two of her children, and then one of the children's friend, for a total of 4 people who were murdered. And again, they call it the Keddie cabin murders because once again they were all murdered inside a cabin, which is kind of like in a resort type cabin, which is about 20 minutes or 30 minutes north of where they're buried here. So I'm going to show you where their cabin used to be as well and go from there. So the Sharp family consisted of the mother, Glenna, and her 5 children. And her 5 children were 15-year-old John, 14-year-old Sheila, 12-year-old Tina, 10-year-old Rick, and 5-year-old Greg. And they ended up moving from Massachusetts after Glenna ended up splitting up with her husband. And so they moved from Massachusetts to Northern California here in 1979, and they ended up settling around the Quincy, California area. Eventually, they ended up moving into the very infamous Keddie cabin. So on April 11th, 1981, the day before they were all killed, Glenna, who went by Sue, was driving Sheila and Greg to their friend's house to pick up 10-year-old Rick. And so they were on their way and they ended up picking up Rick from his friend's house. And on the way there, they came upon 15-year-old John and his friend Dana hitchhiking. So Glenna or Sue stopped and ended up picking up her oldest son John and his friend Dana. Later in the day, sounds like both John and Dana ended up hitchhiking back again to a different friend's house. Meanwhile, 14-year-old Sheila went to one of her friend's houses as well. But by about 9 or 10 p.m., basically all the children returned back to the cabin, except for 14-year-old Sheila, who stayed and spent the night at her friend's house. Everyone in the cabin were Glenna or Sue, and then 15-year-old John, 12-year-old Tina, their friend Dana, and then, of course, the 2 youngest boys, Rick and Greg. And so, basically on the morning of April 12th, 1981, around 7 or 8 in the morning, Sheila returned back from her friend's house and discovered her mom, John, Tina, and Dana all murdered. John had been stabbed in the throat. Dana had been beaten and strangled. And Sue had been stabbed in the throat and chest. Whoever the killer was, or the killers were, they used several knives and a hammer to kill all 4 members. And it says that there were 2 bloody knives and the hammer left behind at the scene. So again, up until this day in 2021, there's been many leads, many different people have been questioned, but still technically remains unsolved. But again, I just can't even fathom what it must have been like for Sheila to come home to see, you know, basically a good chunk of her family, you know, killed. The interesting thing is the two younger boys, Rick and Greg, they were unharmed. Now, I don't know for sure if the killer or killers didn't know they were there, or maybe they thought they were too young to, I don't know, be a witness, although Rick was 10, so that's not necessarily that young. Both boys had some interesting statements though, as they initially claimed that they had been asleep and had not heard anything. But then it sounds like they kind of changed their minds and said they were awake. So again, I don't think either of the boys were, you know, a part of the murders. I mean, I guess there's a small chance, but they were 10 years old and 5 years old, so. Alright guys, I found the graves of the Sharp family. Again, Tina Sharp, who was 12 at the time of the murder. John, who was 15 at the time of the murder. And of course their mom, Glenna, who I believe was 36 years old at the time of the murders. Alright guys, so unfortunately some bad news. I tried to drive up to the Keddie cabin resort area, and as you could tell earlier in the video, there was some smoke in the air, basically permeating the entire city of Quincy. And I guess the fire is so close to the Keddie cabin resort right now that they blocked the road. I tried to get up there, and there were some construction guys with some highway patrol, and they were saying nope, like no one's allowed up there. So I know it's very frustrating because I drove a good 3 hours or something like that out of the way to try to film this. Let's look outside. I mean, it's complete smoke everywhere. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you understand. Again, my name's Harmon. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.